Welcome to Yakety Mac, y'all. I appreciate you watching. So we've got ourselves a little project today. I am changing out all the treble hooks on my hard bait for single inline hooks. I'm going to show you the items that I bought to make this happen. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then we're going to head over to the pond and test it out to see if it changes its performance or its action at all. I don't know. I'm going to see it for the first time with you. Now, there are many reasons that I will want to change out treble hooks. Does this look familiar to anyone? Treble hooks get caught on everything. Your clothing, your skin, your netting, carpet, ropes, you name it. Anything within a 10-foot radius of it in the water, whether it's something floating on the surface or subsurface, they get caught on everything, including the fish. And that's the biggest reason that I don't like to use them. I've seen fish hooked in the top of the head, through the eyeball, on the side, in the gills, and treble hooks are almost always the cause. Now look, I'm a catch and release guy. I don't keep what I catch. And so it's important for me that I take care of the fish that I'm using for sport. And the easiest way for me to do that is to get rid of the treble hooks, because if this doesn't work, I'm not going to use hard baits at all. Let me show you some of the items that I picked up. For starters, I got the replacement inline hooks. Now these are from THK Fish. It's an Amazon buy that was less than $15 for an assortment of sizes. You can buy different brands. This is one that I just experimented with. If I find that these hooks aren't the highest of quality, then I will probably continue to do the same, but with a higher quality hook. But for now, I'm going to try these out right here. I also bought an extra supply of split rings, which came with some little split ring pliers as well. Really simple to use. I'm about to show you how we're going to change these out. But I haven't had to use any of these spares so far. So far, the ones on the baits have worked out pretty well for me. Now we're going to do one on camera for you so that you can see how it works, but let me show you a couple that I've done already. Whopper Ploppers are like a very fine-tuned bait. You get a little piece of grass or something on them and they just don't act right. So I'm very anxious to see how they perform with this single inline hook. I've also done a small square bill crankbait. I've switched those hooks out as well. So I've got several different types to test out, not just Topwater. All right. So I'm going to switch cameras to get a close-up angle here, and I'm going to show you exactly how I swap these out. Okay, for demonstration purposes here, we're going to start with this crankbait. It's another little square bill, an H2OX. So the first thing that I do is I kind of lay it out and I go through my assortment single line hook sizes. And what I do is I grab out one and I'll hold it up next to the treble hook to see how it is in terms of size. So I'll lay that out and then I'll lay the treble hook here by it. And that hook there is considerably larger. So I'm going to go down a size from there. Now I actually think that smaller hooks perform well in a lot of situations anyway over a bigger hook. So I don't mind actually even downsizing some. But you'll see here I'll lay this out and we can put the treble hook right up here, and that's pretty close to the same size. So I think I'll swap out. I'll grab one of those for the front and one of these here, one of these smaller ones here for the back. All right, and we will begin the process of swapping them out. Now these little pliers here are easy to use. They've got a little notch, kind of like a hook right there, and then a flat side here. I had never used them before, but turns out it's really simple. So the first thing that I do is I take off both treble hooks. So you'll want to align it so that the hook is on one side or the other of the split, because you're going to need to feed that through there once you get that split ring spread apart. Okay, so I've got the hook position where I want it. And now all you do is simply take your pliers here and you just put them up underneath there. You get that little pointed edge up underneath there, and then you just squeeze it together. And there's a prime example of why I hate treble hooks. It's already caught in my finger. I hate these things. All right, let's do this again. Let's split this ring apart. There we go. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll try holding it up next to the lens. Hopefully it's not blurry. You can see here that it is spread apart. And now I simply feed the treble hook through there. And then you can use the pliers to continue to spin around the split ring. And there we go. One treble hook is done. I'll come and grab the other one. This process takes, I don't know, I guess because I'm new at it and I'm not really used to doing this, it takes me about 3 or 4 minutes to get the treble hooks off, and then another couple minutes. So about 5 or 6 minutes total to swap them out. I guess if you've got hundreds of these, it can be time consuming. I do not. I'm not a big fan of hard-sided baits, but I do understand their importance, and they do play a role. All right, so there we go. That was all real time. I don't know how much of that I'll edit it, but it isn't much. I think it might have taken me 2 minutes from the time I started. Okay, so there we go. The hooks are off. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to do, and I'll grab one of my other lures here so you can see, is that you are going to want to have the back hook pointing backwards and the front hook pointing towards the front. The reason that is as this is traveling through the water and the water is moving underneath this, it's going to push this hook up, and it's also going to pull this hook backwards as well. Fish have a tendency to come up from the bottom, and they have a tendency to go for the head on most baits. And so if you turn this hook the other direction and it's coming through the water, the chances are it is going to be leaning up against the lure this way, which then makes the lure block the hook. So what I'm doing is on the front hook, we are going facing towards the front of the lure, and the back hook is going to be facing towards the back. Okay, so the back hook is now installed on that one, and then we'll do the exact same thing for the front one. Okay, so there's the one we just changed out, guys. So now we've got kind of a variety of baits. We got a couple of Topwater, we got a couple of crankbaits. Let's grab a couple of poles, head over to the pond, and see what difference it makes at the water. All right, to get things rolling, we're going to start off with my preferred Topwater bait, which is the walking style. This is a Yozuri pencil walker with the original treble hooks on there. So we're going to cast this out and retrieve it so that we can watch the action, and then I'm immediately going to switch this out for the exact same lure with the inline hooks. You can see the walking action. Okay, so now we have the exact same lure, but with the inline hooks. So the moment of truth, I suppose. The cast here and see how it does. All right, so I noticed no difference at all. I can tell you what's nice is that I brought it through this little bit of debris, some floating pine needles and leaves, and it did not hook any of those. All right, so there we have it there in terms of its action and in terms of how it performs compared to the original hooks. I noticed no difference at all. I did bring it through a little bit of clutter on top of the water, and it did not snag any of that, which is really nice. So the question now is how will it react when there is a fish swipe at it? Will it hook them? Am I going to miss some blow-ups? Those are things that we'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, the action is perfect. It's just as it was when it was original. So now let's try a Whopper Plopper. All right, so we've got a Whopper Plopper now with the original treble hooks on it. And these are finicky baits. I'm very interested to see how these perform next to each other. So here we go. I hope the camera was picking up that sound. All right, so I've got them all swapped out now. So here we are, the Whopper Plopper with the single inline hooks. And I can tell you this, tying a Palomar knot without the treble hooks is so much easier. But the moment of truth, here we are. How's a Whopper Plopper do? Finicky bait for sure. Wow, that was perfect. There was no sound difference in that whatsoever. Runs true, it runs straight. Okay, so the Whopper Plopper performed incredibly well. Very nice. Again, I'd love to get a fish blow up on one of these to see what the hookup is going to be like. But in terms of lure performance, it did fantastic. So now we're going to do crankbait, and we're going to go over to the dock. This pond is extremely shallow, and so it's got a lot of grass and stuff in it. Crankbaits are just dying to get hung up, so we're going to go over to the dock into some deeper water, and we're going to do the same experiment with the crankbait. And once we're done with that, if that passes, then it is green light to finish changing out all of these hooks and be done with treble hooks forever. Let's give it a go. Okay, so with a crankbait, we're not going to be able to obviously see or hear the lure the way we would the first two examples. What I'm looking for here is that crankbait wobble, that vibration. And so I'm going to make a couple casts with the original treble hooks on and just get a sense of that feel and see that rod tip. Hopefully you can see that rod tip vibrating there in the water. That's what we're going to be looking for as well on the inline hooks. We want to see that vibration and that wobble. There's the hook, there's the rod tip again. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. It's very easy to see with just the eyes. So I can feel that vibration, I can feel that wobble. In fact, let me do this kind of shallow here, see if we can see that wobble. And this is what I'm going to be looking for as well. Let's switch it out and see what we get, guys. All right, so here we are with this crankbait here. And again, guys, what we're going to be looking for is that wobble and that rod tip vibration. So let's try this now, see what we can do. Show that rod tip. Definitely got the vibration going on. Definitely got that rod tip bouncing. Let that shallow wobble. Great action on that crankbait. Great side to side. So hey guys, that went even better than I thought it was going to. In fact, now I'm gonna have to get busy changing out a whole bunch of my hard baits. Hey look, I kind of thought that going to these hooks might affect the performance a little bit of the crankbait and the Whopper Plopper. I was especially nervous about, but it didn't. And in fact, I think the Whopper Plopper gets up and runs just a little bit quicker now. Maybe it's the lighter weight, I don't know. Now, is this going to cause me to lose some fish? Most definitely. I'm not going to be able to catch the ones that I would have hooked in the side or the side of the face or the gills or the top of the head or whatever it might be. Those I'm not going to catch, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to catch those anyway. Going to these inline hooks will now allow me to start using hard baits again, which I had pretty much cut out completely over the course of the last year, just because of the issues with treble hooks, not just with the fish, but they're a pain in the butt in every aspect of fishing. They're called treble hooks for a reason. Y'all, if you are new to the channel, check out this video right here. This is a giveaway that I'm doing. I'm trying to promote the hell out of this thing because I want as many people to join as possible and follow along. It's pretty cool prizes. All you've got to do is make a couple of predictions on the number of bass I'm going to catch in 2026. So go check that video and participate if you would. The rest of y'all, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And no matter what you've got going on in your life, I hope you will always take some time to get outside and play.